Hey everybody, welcome back to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage on this Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024. And the focus in today's weather forecast will be on those record high temperatures expected through late October. And there are many of them across the United States. We're going to be looking at precipitation prospects through the end of the month. We'll dive into the Halloween forecast as well and look at the tropics at the end of this video. So if you are here, you might as well subscribe to the channel down below, hit the bell notification button so you are notified for my videos and live streams in the future, and also hit the like button, the thumbs up button down below, and of course leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. We'll always get to those after my videos. Here are your morning lows that we started off here this Tuesday morning, and it was a mild start across the upper Midwest. We were into the 60-degree mark in the Minneapolis region starting off this Tuesday morning, 55 in Des Moines and 64 mild degrees in Kansas City. And here we go into the afternoon, more unseasonable warmth, record warmth perhaps, across the central U.S. and on up into southeastern Canada, especially for Ontario and for Quebec. And some of these areas will be 30 degrees above the norm for this time of year. And here are those high temperatures. And you can see where they are boxed up. That's where we have record highs potentially broken today. And those are areas of southern Kansas, northern Oklahoma, even southwest Missouri. Could be seeing that, and even parts of the Northeast as well, getting into the 80s this afternoon. And looking at the maps for precipitation, right? We have that low pressure system that was cut off from the main flow in the jet stream this past weekend across the desert Southwest. That slowly drifted east-northeastward, and it is now into the mid and upper Mississippi Valley region in eastern Iowa here today. And that's what's bringing some showers and storms for eastern Iowa, northeast Missouri, and northern Illinois this morning. Looking here at what that storm system did bring, we did have a lot of wind and hail reports for Saturday into Sunday, especially for Colorado, down into New Mexico and western Texas. We did have some hail reports scattered across Kansas yesterday, so we did see 8 of those come in, and a lot of those were, again, quarter size or larger at times. And there's that low pressure system. This afternoon, scattered showers, light showers across portions of the Illinois Valley, a little bit more moderate rainfall activity further north you go into Canada, especially up into Ontario and into Quebec. And then the further north you go from there into northern Canada, the precipitation turns to snow as the colder air is bottled up to the north. Cold front does follow along though tonight across the upper Midwest. So you're going to see a change in our air mass briefly for the middle of the week, but this precipitation that's falling won't be very heavy. It's going to be very light. A trace of rain up to maybe a half an inch worst case scenario, and it's really not going to do much, unfortunately, to wash away our drought across those areas. But we are going to see some decent snows up into Alaska. So if you live up in Alaska, could be seeing several inches of accumulating snow over the next 24 hours. Not much for southern Canada, really nothing for the United States over the next 24 hours. Let's look at the weather pattern in the big picture as we go through the rest of this week. This is Wednesday tomorrow, October 23rd, through the end of the week on Friday, October 25th. Notice the blue colors, and that's the colder air and the low pressure storm track further to the north in northern Canada. That's going to remain bottled up to the north. We have more of the Pacific air, zonal flow underneath across the lower 48. So what you see is what you get, folks, as we get into Wednesday afternoon, minus the cold front. That keeps us a little bit cooler across the northern tier of the United States. We're going to be breaking more records down here in the Lone Star State of Texas. The Dallas-Fort Worth area, low 90s tomorrow. That would be a record at 92. And then as we go into Thursday afternoon, more of those records across the Southern Plains and the Mississippi Delta region. And Friday afternoon, the Southeast, we start to see more records for places like Nashville, down here into the Huntsville region, even Jackson, Mississippi, as we go into Friday. So definitely continuing to see that unseasonable warmth continue through late this week. Precipitation prospects, well, we're not really seeing much tomorrow. Outside of a few showers across the Great Lakes, a few showers across the Pacific Northwest, mostly dry tomorrow. More shower storm activity across the northern plains on Thursday. That's as a new low pressure system develops. That could sweep some rain across portions of the Midwest. Again, light precipitation amounts through the Midwest Friday morning, and then continuing across the Ohio Valley into the Northeast Friday evening. And you can see it's really not going to be putting down a lot of rainfall, but we could be seeing anywhere from a quarter to half an inch in those areas that see repeated rounds tons of showers and storms as we go through your Friday time frame. And we need the rainfall. Here is the drought monitor that was released this past Thursday. And a lot of the United States really getting into that significant drought here, especially once you get into the orange, red, and maroon red shaded colors. That's severe, extreme, exceptional drought. And that's really when we have to worry. And we have a big drought ongoing in Ohio and West Virginia, a lot of that in Oklahoma, West Texas, Wyoming, a lot of areas really seeing significant drought. And we're not going to get any help from snowfall either. We're going to see a lot of the snow in the same areas we've been seeing it so far this October. That'll be well up to the north toward the Arctic Circle in northern Canada, or the western coastline there of Canada and British Columbia, all the way up towards the Gulf of Alaska there in those higher elevations. Going into this upcoming weekend, and it's just a continuation, folks, of what we've been seeing. We have unseasonable warmth continuing. You can see high pressure here in the orange, low pressure starting to organize over here into northeast Pacific Ocean, and that is going to be something to watch as we go into next week. But let's worry about the weekend first here. Unseasonable warmth will continue, and this will really be for out west, the central U.S., and the southeast, but a little bit below normal with our temperatures across portions there of Quebec, Ontario, and southeastern Canada, but the northeast United States, but really not that far below normal here in a lot of those areas at all. And going into the weekend, Saturday, yeah, high pressure, very strong here in the middle of the country. That'll go to work and it'll warm us up. Sunsplash skies this weekend. That'll continue as we go into Sunday out there. But our next storm system, that low pressure system we were just alluding to here into the northeast Pacific, that's going to be bringing some rainfall here to Seattle and Portland here as well as the Vancouver region, and that could be adding up to maybe an inch or two of rain for the weekend, and some heavier snows for western British Columbia up toward Yukon. The Northwest Territories could be seeing several inches of snowfall in some of these areas in western British Columbia, over 3 to 4 feet of snow for just the weekend itself. And as we go into next week, that trough is going to come into the western United States and park itself across the Rockies, and that's going to be bringing below normal temperatures out west and maybe as far east as the Rocky Mountains. And then east of the Rockies, it is a blowtorch, folks. We're going to continue to see well above average temperatures for late October standards right up through Halloween, even into early November. And some of these will be record highs that will be shattered across those areas. And precipitation will come back finally, right? For the middle of the country, seeing likely chances here into the mid-Mississippi Valley region of some decent, healthy rains as we go in towards late October here and into early November. Let's look ahead at your Halloween forecast. Here are your high temperatures on Thursday, October 31st. This is Halloween. And you can see some cooler air across the north and, more typical of what we could see for this time of year. The 80s and stuff like that will be down near the Gulf Coast and into Florida. But precipitation, the ensemble models have been in very nice agreement here of a storm system somewhere across the central U.S. for that Halloween time frame. And the European ensemble guidance is really hinting at that. The GFS ensemble guidance and the Canadian ensemble guidance, the CMC, is also hinting at that for Halloween. So we'll be watching out for that, and we'll be updating you as we do get closer to the Halloween timeframe. Turning over to the tropics, the National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida is still watching Tropical Storm Oscar here across the eastern Bahamas, and this system is becoming a little bit more disorganized, even though it has moved back over the open water of the western Atlantic after making landfall in eastern Cuba, but drier air is really starting to eat away at this, especially in the western side of this system. And it's really making a lot of the convection on the eastern side kind of fan out in all directions. So it's becoming a little bit less organized. And also, the further north and east it moves toward Bermuda, it's actually going to be moving into water that is a lot cooler than what it is right now. So it has a lot working against it right now. So it's rapid decreasing in intensity is going to be expected with this system post-tropical cyclone by the time it reaches the Bermuda area or just western Bermuda by Wednesday, Thursday time frame. And you can see once it moves up there towards Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, we could be seeing some gustier winds, so be watching out for that on Friday. Nothing too terribly intense, so don't have to worry about that. But if you're wondering why it's so windy perhaps on Friday, that's just because of this 998 millibar low, which would be the remnants of Oscar just kind of skirting by eastern Canada later on in the week. And looking at the rest of hurricane season, right? We're in late October. We're starting to climb the ladder downwards and getting toward the end of the hurricane season. But it's not over yet, folks. We still have November to go. And even sometimes, weirdly, in early December, we can get some systems as well. And you can see the Climate Prediction Center, the experts over there are showing that Western and Central Caribbean we need to watch between around Halloween and the first week in November, and that could move as far west as maybe the Yucatan and some of the countries there in Central America. We need to watch for maybe any landfalling systems into early November. We'll keep you covered here right on this channel. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below for the latest weather information right at your fingertips for videos, live streams, and everything like that. Make sure to press the bell icon for notifications for videos and live streams moving forward. Like the video by giving it a thumbs up, especially if you did enjoy it. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. We'll always get to those after my videos, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their Tuesday out there.